Well, I'm joined right now by U.S. Congressman Eric Swalwell of California. He's a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Well, what do you make of the President of the United States tweeting that the previous president, his predecessor, illegally wiretapped him? What do you make of that?
Thanks for having me back, Chris. This president is no longer credible, and there's no one that he is willing to spare in defaming to distract us from the uncomfortable questions around Russia.
Well, what do you make of it? What do you make of him? Do you think he just made this up? That's what I think.
Yeah.
What do you think he did?
Yeah. There's no evidence of it. And Chris, if there was any sort of wiretapping, it's because the FBI and the Department of Justice got a federal judge to sign off on it, which means he's in real trouble.
But none of that happened. You're in the Intelligence Committee. You know that none of that happened.
There's no evidence right now out there. And Chris, again, this president has crossed all lines. He's attacked the judiciary. He's now attacking the peaceful transfer of power. And President Obama, who was so gracious to him and, you know, pretty measured, more measured than I think most of us would have been during that transition. And he's attacking the independence of our law enforcement. So there's no line he would cross to make sure he distracts us from these questions around Russia.
Well, Trump is president of the United States. I have a hard time actually calling him President Trump right now because when he gets up at dawn and starts tweeting, that doesn't seem like an official statement from a president. It strikes me as the guy who used to say Obama was a legal immigrant or that Ted Cruz's father killed Kennedy. I mean, it seems like that guy, like he's some blogger. He's not the president. What do you think when you hear when he makes these claims? What do you make of them? Who is he? Is he president when he's doing this, or is this some weird extracurricular at dawn he practices?
He's that armchair uncle after Thanksgiving dinner who's just letting his unfounded opinions fly. And we need a president who's focused right now. And, Chris, I always step back. He's entitled to his opinion. But if his opinion is making us less safe or giving Americans less opportunity, that's when people need to start speaking up around here.
Well, when's the Intelligence Committee on which you serve in the House going to put out a statement saying this is nonsense? What's the wait? All you have to do as a committee, I'm sorry, I know how it works, call the FBI director to the stand tomorrow morning, put him under oath and say, was there any evidence while you've been director all the way months and years ago, any evidence of any attempt to bug Donald Trump? What's so hard about that? Get it over with. Why are we waiting months of this nonsense?
It's not hard, and I was encouraged that FBI Director Comey was attempting to have the Department of Justice clear this reckless statement by the president. But we should do that this week in the Intelligence Committee. We shouldn't have to continue to let the American people be confused about what really happened here because the president is so reckless with his tweets.
Well, Nunes is playing ball as a Republican. He's out there saying, well, we haven't heard anything yet so far about it. We're going to keep our eyes open and ears open, and maybe something will come across our desk. He's basically saying there's nothing to it, but he's not going to blow the whistle and say, let's stop this focus on nothingness. Anyway, U.S. Congressman Eric Swalwell of California, thanks for coming on. President Trump